What does the world look like where 2 billion people are checking our devices 150 times a day?
My name is Scilla Andreen. Social media is here to stay. My documentary, Like, shows how we can do a better job living with it. And this is why you should listen to me.
Why did you feel the need to make this documentary right now?
You know, it all actually started with another film that I was making called Angst, which is basically a documentary that opens up the conversation around mental health, and it enters the conversation through anxiety. And in doing those interviews, a lot of people felt that there was a spike in anxiety because of social media.
Let's take a look at it.
We want to have that recognition of people seeing like everything we're doing, and we want to have those comments and the likes to like reassure yourself that what you're doing is good.
There's a lot of data that show that people get addicted to their phones because the same addiction centers light up as they would if you were using heroin.
I think people of all ages, especially the kids, were sort of like, oh, is that what's going on? And what I love about them understanding this data point, which is based on science, is that they were inspired to self-regulate. And that is incredibly hard to attain.
And you really spoke to the experts who are like dealing with, you know, the brain and the scientific. It's not just a narrative documentary, isn't it? It's facts.
We do. We take a microscope to it. We take a hard look at some of the really dark and ugly stuff that's going on. But for the most part, the film is filled with the hope, the resources, the tools, and action items forward.
You promote this documentary in schools. There's a different way of you tackling your way of promoting your stuff.
I'm a mom, I'm a CEO, I'm a director and a producer. I make films about topics that I'm really curious about, and then I want to share them with kids, families, educators, in an environment where people will then have the conversation after.
How will these young people change the tech industry in the future? Because ultimately they are going to be working in the workforce to be the developers of these apps.
One of the things I take away from these community screenings, especially the school screenings, is we can bring in anywhere from 200 to 3,000 people that will see it, and then they'll also screen it in every classroom. And so when the kids are seeing, especially Like, the message in Like is that they are the future, and that just as doctors have the Hippocratic Oath to do no harm, I believe that our children need to have that same sort of oath or values, you know, that value, that moral compass, that especially if you're going into tech, you need to design and code and develop to enhance the human condition.
For your company, what social impact do you wish for it to leave behind?
Change. I want to see change. I want to see people talking to each other. We are social beings, and we are more connected than ever through technology, but we are more disconnected on sort of an energy, empathy, social, emotional level. And so in some ways, we have swung so hard in one direction where we're just connected, we're looking down, we're missing out on what happens when we look in each other's eyes and the effects on the brain and that feeling of well-being. That's really important that we have that. We need balance in our lives.
Well, thank you so much, and continue to shine that light on the whole attention economy conversation itself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.